Hello and welcome to KamenRider Blackman. Quick announcement before I get into today's video. Unfortunately, the Ultraman Mebius review is going to be on hold for a bit. It's not that it's not done yet. It's that after I finished recording it, I thought it over some, and in my opinion, it just seemed a bit flawed, and it was missing out some details. And I was thinking to myself, like, as a reviewer, it's my job to keep things like accurate and spot on, because in said review, I didn't want to throw out there like some few facts that you guys wouldn't know about or anything, and you'd be left confused about it. And afterwards, me saying I recommend the show, but yet with those few threads just hanging out, I didn't want to upload the video of the Mebius review like that. I didn't want to upload it with it having any threads hanging out or anything, or any missing details. So it's nothing that would take too long too. It's something I'd have to go back, revisit, and add on a few things to my script, and maybe by then I would upload it. But so, unfortunately, my apologies once again my apologies that my review of Ultraman Mebius unfortunately won't be out today. But this just gives me a whole nother opportunity to focus on my next show, the next show that I will be reviewing, KamenRider Black. Since I've already seen Mebius, that me fixing up a few things won't be so hard. But KamenRider Black, one of the most well-known shows from the Showa era, as well known by plenty of fans that really like the show as well. That will be my next review. So look forward to that. And with that said, let's get on to today's video, which is of my top 10 Yellow Rangers in Sentai. And let's move things forward, starting off with my two honorable mentions. One is Geki Yellow. I thought as a character, she was fine, but in terms of, the only reason why she didn't make it on the list is because she really didn't get much in terms of character development. Like, did she had stuff to do? Indeed, because just like with the other two, Blue and Red, we saw these three grow stronger and develop a lot more in terms of sense and power with every master they trained under and so on going forward. But it's just that by herself, she didn't really change as much, or at least in my opinion. Now, my second... Oh, also about with Geki Yellow, she was also the leader of the team. So, huge props there. And so, my second honorable mention is Boken Yellow. I thought she was fine. I really didn't find much of a problem with her. She's the cutesy character, but I don't know, it didn't bother me. Also, keep in mind, it's been a long time since I've seen Bokenger. But even when I revisit that show, I sort of don't have an issue with her. And her arc and the plot twist with her was just really unpredictable, like on all sides. And so, I enjoyed it. And unfortunately, she's an honorable mention. But Boken Yellow, still not a bad character. So, moving on to the actual list. Number 10, Lupin Yellow. Now, I have not seen a lot of Lupad. I tried to get into it when it was still out, and I just got lazy with the show because most of my time I was spending it watching KamenRider Build. But from what I've seen, there's one episode about her that I personally like. It's when Blue and Yellow are captured by the monster of the episode, and so she has to come up with this whole plan to save them and capture a piece of the Lupin collection. And I like that because we dive into her backstory a little bit, and it shows how competent she is as a ranger with or without her team. And I just enjoyed it so much. The fact that the fact that she's clearly I wanna yeah, she's clearly the youngest among the three of them, since her backstory involves her being a high school student and fighting to revive her best friend. But yeah, I like Lupin Yellow for what I've seen of her. And hopefully, if anyone has seen Lupin Ranger versus Palto Ranger, please feel free to confirm what I said in the comments. And so, number 9, Gokai Yellow, Luca. Luca is she her actress alone, she does a good job at portraying the cool beauty. But not only that, Luca as a character, she is pretty fun. She's greedy, but she's a pirate, so that's her excuse. Also, her backstory as well about losing her little sister to because of the whole mess happening with Zenyak. It explains why she's so greedy and so money hungry, because what she would want to do with that money is have a whole planet for herself and her family. And understand too, Lupin Yellow, she grew up apparently poor, and apparently while growing up poor, she also learned how to kick ass and fight a couple of Zenyak troops to all for her family. But yeah, with that in mind, even as a character, she's the fun, cool beauty who has her thing about being greedy, and that's just entertaining as all hell because she does also has a good sense of right and wrong, just like all of them. Now, moving on to number 8, Mega Yellow, Chisato. She feels like, She feels like this could be like everyone in Mega Ranger, and I'm pretty sure I've said this before, have their own thing. She feels like she's almost the mother of that team, sort of. Because she's sort of that mother of her team, sort of. And with her, I don't know how to explain it, because she even has her own dreams and aspirations of being a photographer. She's she is the second she is the second smartest person of the 5. And just here's another good example. It's just I don't know how to describe it for Mega Yellow. She's just so competent and amazing on her own or even with her team. Because here's another good example. Her and Black, like going through Hinular City to save like the rest of the team, as well as save everyone else that was captured there. It just shows how strong she is. Not to mention, she does have some neat tricks of her own. Not to mention, like, that arm blade thing there. But that's as close as I can get for describing it for Mega Yellow. But so, number 7, Hurricane Yellow. Okay, so, Hurricane Yellow, I can definitely get in depth about. Kota is a warrior of a character. And out of the main 3, out of the first 3 Rangers that we get, I like Kota because he's the one who comes off with the most sense, and which explains because these 3 are at the beginning of Hurricaneer. These 3 are not the best, and Kota is the one who comes off as the most responsible about getting better and thinking about their actions before doing anything. And so I can get behind. And so I have plenty of sense to like Kota as a character because he's a real sensible person. And we get that from him early on, even from when he was a little kid, when it's just when him and his little sister were raised in an orphanage, which later inspires him to becoming a physical therapist. And so, yeah. Anywho, moving on. Number 6, Gao Yellow. What? I don't know how. I honestly do not know how anyone feels about Gao Ranger. Me neither. It's one of those shows that I watched a long time ago, but I don't remember much about it, and I personally won't unless I rewatch it again. But I remember Bagao Yellow Gaku. He stands out for me about that show when I did watch it. He is our first Yellow Ranger to be a leader of a team. He was the first Gao Ranger, so he's been fighting the monsters of the show before everyone else, even before Silver came back. And he's a military officer as well. And once he encountered something that he was completely unaware of, that's where that serious streak really kicks into him. And don't get me wrong, because over time he does loosen up a bit. Like, he has his moments where he can speak English, to which is pretty interesting looking back on it now. But I don't know, it's been a long time since I've seen Gao Ranger. But one thing, or I remember, it's when the Deer Zord gets introduced. He says, "By the way, it's such clear English." But yeah, Gao Yellow as a character, he's the first Ranger. He's the first Gao Ranger among the 5, and so that opportunity was used to make him grow stronger and get better. And I can get behind that. And I also object to why Red became the leader after he finally joined the team and it was all 5 of them. I just feel, that's just me. I still feel like Gaku should have stayed team leader. But next, number 5, Abare Yellow. I have seen her actress recently in Ultraman Mebius. And her character was totally different from when she was in Abba Ranger. Because Ranru, she's... How do I ever describe... Ranru is more spunky. Ranru is more spunky, as well as actually a genius. And she's actually the genius of the team, as well as the sports enthusiast, because she's the one who sometimes comes up with inventions to help out with the Monster of the Week of said episode. And Ranru's she's a really fun character as well. And so she sort of made the list for me, like, immediately with some more thought into it. But I enjoyed her. So next, number 4, Yellow Lion, Joe. I wanted to put Joe on this list in a heartbeat. Joe is so cool. Joe, for a genius, he does have good heart and sense, and he represents fun in Live Man. Everyone in Live Man represents something. Blue represents having heart. Red represents, I guess, seriousness, as well as being human. But yellow represents fun, because he has his moment. Because I remember there's one episode of Live Man where he took up a job at a pizza parlor all to impress a girl. And he even butts heads a bit with the girl's brother. But it just goes to show how far he's willing to go to help in period. Not to mention his rivalry / friendship with Dr. Oblar / Go. Like, anytime Go and Joe, anytime there's an episode about Joe or an episode about Go, those two are gonna come together, and it just gets into further detail about Live Man, about the villains, on how twisted and how corrupted they really had become under Professor Bias. And Joe is the one to reach out for that sense factor, really. Because with Joe, it's a reminder that the villains were once normal people, and pretty much there. That's pretty much there for Joe. And so, number 3, Deca Yellow, Jasmine. Did you know that she was an Esper? I'm not fucking doing that speech. I don't even know what it is. Jasmine, though, her character rocked. Like, she was the cool beauty as well as a damn good cop. She has her quirks, and to me, she has her quirks, and that, I guess, works with, and I guess that works with being a cop. Like, if you want to be descriptive about your cases or your criminals, find something about them and make it their name. Like in the Abba Ranger versus Deca Ranger team up, when they fight the Abba Rangers, she calls them Spiky, the red, blue, and yellow Spiky-kun. And with the Magi Rangers, Fluttering Cape Hero-kun. Alright, apparently, it's better than unidentified life form number whatever. But yeah. But with all that being said, Jasmine, she alone knows how to be a badass. Like in one episode where they send Deca Pink like in one episode where they send in Deca Pink in this dream world, and she apparently comes up dead subconsciously. So Jasmine also goes into the dream world herself and has a bus running straight towards her. This is the moment where a bus comes running straight towards her, and as soon as she figures out the dream world, she punches that bus, getting rid of it and exposing the monster. And that was the shit. And even when you see her get fiery passionate, it is freaking awesome. So, yeah. And this is just a thought in mind. In the 10 years after Team Up, when she marries that kid who is 10 years younger than her, I don't object that at all. Because props for him. I'm sorry. That's just me. But, anywho, number 2, Shinken Yellow, Hanori Kotaha. It really goes... Now, everyone on this list so far shows themselves to be being strong and have heart, because that's pretty much an embodiment of the Yellow Ranger. Kotaha is that one. Kotaha is strength and heart, but one step at a time, because she originally wasn't supposed to be the one that's summoned. That was supposed to be her sister, and she keeps that at the back of her head to remind her to get better and get stronger and really show that she is Shinken Yellow and part of the team. And she may not be the best, book smart, but she is truly that center heart of the team. She's not the center. She truly is that center heart of the team, of being the most caring, the most considerate, of being caring and being considerate when she's dealing with whichever character. With Chiaki, she can really get along with him because they're both the youngest. With Genta, Genta's just a fun guy. With Genta, he's just a fun guy, so easy there. And with Takeru and Mako, it really shows how much of an ensemble Shinkenger is, because her role is little sister, and her role is badass little sister. And yeah, I really appreciate that. But with that said, Shinken Yellow, once again, a good character. And now moving on to number 1, Time Yellow, Domon, because this guy is the heart and strength of the team, all combined together, and still such a big lug. And I can't even deny, I honestly do mean that about Domon, because he's such a sweetheart, as well as a jokester at sometimes. It's just like, I feel like with Domon, he's the most, I don't know how I say this, he's the most adult amongst the 5 of them in some cases. Like, for starters, he's the only one that can tell that both, like, Tatsuya and Yuri both like each other. But, not to mention, he also had his own subplot in the show as well, with the reporter, Honami. And with that arc and subplot, really raveled up his head a bit, because he shouldn't be involved with her, because he doesn't want to put her in the dangers of their lives and jobs as being of Time Rangers. But considering she is the only one willing enough to actually go after and take pictures and evidence of the Wandars, she's all up for it. And just their chemistry alone, it feels so genuine, because he found the right girl, and he found that right girl, and you just feel so much heart with that, because his whole thing, it ends like a lot of years later in Gokaiger, when he gets a picture back from the Gokaigers when he gets a picture back from the Gokaigers for Time Ranger tribute, they send back a picture of all the Gokaigers together with Honami and their son. And he just takes a look at that picture and goes, he looks just like me, and breaks down. God. This is the same reaction I had from when I watched Time Ranger, and it's the very, spoiler alert right now, like at the very end, or sort of towards the end of the last episode, when Tatsuya meets Honami again while going out on a jog. She has a baby with him. She has a baby, like, in her hands that she has. And Tatsuya says, "Grow up and be strong, Domon Jr." Oh my god. But now it makes me, and now I just ask another question of, and now I'm just wondering about another thing too, because in Time Ranger, the baby's called Domon Jr., but in Gokaiger, he has a totally different name. And also the thing about, is he his own great-great-great-grandpa? But who knows? Space is warped and time is bendable. And that is the list of the top 10 Yellow Rangers in Super Sentai. Did you enjoy this list? Or do you have your own? Matter of fact, who are your favorite Yellow Rangers in Sentai? Please tell me. And in the comments down below, please do not forget to like, subscribe, share this video, and tell your friends about KamenRider Blackman. Thank you once again, because now I'm up to 25 subscribers. I apologize one more time for the Mebius review being put off, but stay tuned, as my next full show review will be KamenRider Black. So, thank you for watching today's episode of KamenRider Blackman, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.